What's good, y'all? It's your boy Sean Peter Bluff God. Hey! And we are back with another One Piece chapter reaction. And today we will be reacting to One Piece chapter 1066, The Will of Ohara. Now, before we get into the chapter, make sure you guys hit that like button. Also, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications. Also, comment down below your thoughts and theories on the chapter. Follow me on Twitch so you can catch me live and you can engage with me in real time. Also, follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And join the Discord. Come be a part of the community. It's probably where I'm usually the most active at. And if you want to engage with me, that's probably going to be the best place. And if you want to send me content, One Piece content, send it on the Discord. I have a submission channel for people who want to send me stuff to react to. If it's something outside of One Piece, then maybe I'll react to it on like a chill stream or something. But that's what the Discord is for. If you want me to react to something, be part of the Discord, or if you want to be a part of a future discussion stream where I do my post chapter discussion streams, join the Discord. Be a part of the Discord. I do that exclusively for my Discord members. So yeah, all right, y'all. So y'all know what time it is, man. It's One Piece time, y'all. So we are reacting to chapter 1066, The Will of Ohara. It looked like we're gonna be getting some stuff for Robin. Hey, and when you look at Ohara, right? Ohara was doing a lot of research on like the Void Century, poneglyphs, stuff like that. So it we could get a lot of stuff in this chapter. So I'm psyched, yo. I am definitely psyched for this chapter. Last chapter, what happened? We got we seen the Jinbei Seraphim, Seraphim number 4. We learned that the Jinbei Seraphim has senior paint like abilities, right? Because some people want to argue that it may not necessarily be the same abilities, but senior pink like abilities, right? We also learned that Egghead Island, the island of the future, isn't really the island of the future. It's really, you could really kind of call it the island of the past, because all of the technology is based off of technology from 900 years ago. So it's saying like the ancient kingdom technology might be better than the current technology, which is, it's a little wild right there. It's wild to get that confirmed, right? That was stated by Vegapunk Shaka. The Vegapunk that I think embodies Vegapunk the most. Out of all the Vegapunk, I think this Vegapunk probably embodies the actual Vegapunk the most. Now, I also want to say this because social media could be a bitch. I will say that because I was scrolling down let's say Facebook. I was scrolling down Facebook. Yes, I do stay on Facebook. That's where a lot of my family is, and it's how I keep in touch with people I know, right? Twitter is just too messy sometimes for me, but I still do post on Twitter as well. But I seen a screenshot or something of someone that looks to be Vegapunk. So I was spoiled. I was potentially spoiled on Vegapunk and how he looked. I kind of forgot though, because I kind of tried. I seen it and then I scrolled past it because I didn't want it to get etched into my brain. Right, I didn't want it to get etched into my brain, so I just scrolled past it. But he's like an old man. The picture I do, from what I remember, he's just like an old man, kind of what you would probably expect Vegapunk to look like. So I don't know if how true that is. I'm assuming it is because I was also spoiled on Vegapunk Lilith, like somebody that was just plastered all over Facebook. So I mean, it was just one picture though. It wasn't like a lot of people sharing it and spoiling it. So that was a good thing. And I kind of forgot about it, you know. I forgot the context of the reveal and everything, but yeah. So this chapter about Ohara seems to be. So we're gonna see. We might learn what Ohara knew. You know what I mean? I think I also was spoiled on something when it wasn't really much, but it was like a panel with Robin, and this was like maybe like 30 minutes ago, right? It was like 30 minutes ago. I seen a panel of Robin crying, talking about Saul, right? So yes, I was a little spoiled on. I was potentially spoiled on this chapter. You know what I mean? But yeah, I think I'm ready for this chapter. All right, so One Piece, chapter 1066, The Will of Ohara. Right. On the cover page, I'm on the cover page. We are headed to the Germa ships, the snail ships, the main snail ship that's being carried by what looks to be about I want to say it's like 6 across, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 deep. So that's about 30 snails carrying this castle, and we also see if you look above the castle to the left, we see 4 figures, which are the I don't want to say I assume, because yeah, it's definitely them, the 4 Vinsmoke siblings, and we also have Caesar following them, and it says Germa 66 Cold Blooded Voyage Volume 23, returning to Germa with company. So we are one step closer to the pseudo Mads reunion of Judge and Caesar. You know, and I'm hoping, I am hoping this leads to Egghead Island, or even if it doesn't lead to Egghead Island, somehow it leads back to Vegapunk, right? Like that would be dope if this eventually does lead back to Vegapunk. What would be what would be even doper if somehow I don't know how, so this is why I haven't really brought it up. I kind of count it. I don't know if this is even really a possibility, but if somehow we could bring in Queen. I don't know how that would happen, but if somehow we could bring in Queen to the party, bruh, bring Queen to the party and have an official Maz reunion. I'm telling you, I want to see it because I want to see how they would interact with each other, right? And what kind of things they'll come up with, you know, kind of because I could see Mads potentially helping Luffy in the Pirate Alliance at this, like, whatever this major war is, right? That the world government is going to possibly go. It's possibly going to be something where we get like the world government against pirates, like Luffy, and like the pirates led by Luffy. You know what I'm saying? So if that's the case, you know, they might bring out the Seraphim, you know, because the world government, even though they're trying to kill off Vegapunk, they might still keep the Seraphim, you know. And if that's the case, they'll have the Seraphim, but Vegapunk might be like the counter to that. Vegapunk and the whole Mads group, they might be the counter to the Seraphim, you know. But I would think Vegapunk might have like a fail safe for the Seraphim in order to like turn them off, or not, maybe not turn them off, but like might know the weakness to deal with them. You know what I mean? Or some type of counter, you know. All right, so we are on Egghead Island. You know, we got like a shot of Egghead Island where we see the city, the side, you know, the I don't know if I want to call it futuristic city anymore because it's not of the future, it's of the past. The pasturific city, I guess we could say. Um, and it says a shock to the whole crew, right? And you know what's weird? When you look at the stratum, right? When you look at the cloud that the egg is on, it has these lines and it has 066 on it. Kinda like German 66. I'm just saying. It has 066. So is that older kind of little foreshadowing? Is that a little foreshadowing? You know what I mean? A little foreshadowing the German 66 showing up. But yeah, you get 066 and then the egg on top of it. And somebody says, "What are you saying? Existed in the distant past. A futuristic city like this is just conjecture. So this might be Frankie talking. I'm assuming it might be Frankie. Um, and I'm assuming Shaka's talking. It says, "I once knew a passionate archaeologist who was willing to risk his life to shed light on a certain ancient kingdom. Not only that, but at a certain site, machinery was excavated that dated back to the same era as the kingdom. Not only that, but at a certain site, machinery was excavated that dated back to the same era." Okay, okay. And then Robin says, "Are you saying that machinery was created during the Void Century?" And then Shaka says, "You tell me." Okay, so so we're getting some Void Century stuff, and Robin speaking up. So yeah, I definitely think this is gonna be a Robin centered um page, and we talk about how Robin benefits from this arc, right? How Robin benefits from this encounter with Vegapunk. I think this chapter is going to be it's going to entail Robin getting a lot of information that she's been looking for, and based on some of the potential spoilers I've seen, yeah, I definitely think that is going to be the case. Nami says, "You know something about this, Robin?" And then Robin says, "No doubt it's a painful memory, but 22 years ago, your home of Ohara was eradicated by a buster call." Oh, I think this is Shaka speaking, not Nami or not Robin. And then Shaka continues, "I think that happened because Ohara uncovered the details of the kingdom's existence." Bro, we getting so stuff. Let's go. In the words of Rocks the Cube, let's go. Bro, what is Vegapunk about to give us, man? What is Vegapunk about to give us? I believe the history of the Void Century is the history of conflict. Conflict. One between an alliance of 20 nations and this forgotten advanced kingdom. So yeah, it kind of we knew this, right? We knew that the 20 kingdoms went against the ancient kingdom. That was pretty advanced, right? The victorious 2020 The victorious 20 went on to form the world government and shape history as we know it. And to ensure that the ideas of the ancient kingdom wouldn't live on, they erased every trace of it from history. Bro, we knew like this is stuff that we kind of knew, man. We knew that there was some type of conflict between the ancient kingdom and the void century. We knew that the world government been trying to erase any idea or clue of the ancient kingdom, and if you know something, they'll get rid of you too. I kind of wonder if Lelusia knew something. Like the whole Lelusia, Like, what did Lelougia do to get targeted by the world government? Was it because they was rebelling against the world government, or was it something else? Was it something else? And then Nami says, "What? That's crazy." And Usopp says, "What? Is this for real?" And then Frankie's Frankie's excited. He says, "Whoa, what an epic and romantic tale." what about that is romantic and epic? Well, when you think about it, right? I covered there was a theory video I talked. I think it was from Arthur or something, Arthur Library of Ohara or whatever, and he was talking about how One Piece is about romance, right? The first chapter that we got was Romance Dawn, so it was a lot about romance. Great video. I don't remember the title of that video off the rip, but yeah, it was interesting. I want to say it was about finding the One Piece. It was within that series that Arthur Library of Ohara did, where he talks about what the One Piece is, and he talked about One Piece being a story about romance. And then Sanji says, "Hang on, Vegapunk. You mean everyone who knows about this?" And then he doesn't get to finish. And then Shaka continues, "Gets eliminated. Indeed." And then one of the Straw Hats says, "Then why did you tell us?" Probably Usopp, knowing Usopp. "Gaia, I can't unhear it." Yeah, that's probably Usopp. I mean, we know that's Usopp, the scary one. It could be Nami as well, but it's Usopp. And then we see Usopp fall back. So yeah, it was Usopp. And he says, "Come on, brain. Forget you didn't hear anything. Come on, Usopp, bro. Y'all been, the world government been after you guys this whole time. Y'all pretty much on their hit list to kill anyway. So what's one more thing, right? What's one more thing such as the secrets of the world?" I don't think that's going to put y'all any deeper than y'all already are at this point. And then Shaka continues, "Like I said, this is just conjecture." And then he says, "So tell me, Nico Robin, if I am right, and that discovery is why Ohara was wiped out." And then we see Robin looking on. Shaka continues, "Then wouldn't the government's actions be tantamount to a confirmation?" That's true. That is true. If the world government, if you learn something, right, and they don't want you to know, so they act extremely against it. Like they kill y'all because y'all know y'all learned something. They if what you learned was a lie, why would they need to kill you? They killed them because they needed to cover it up. They needed to bury all that. So, like Vegapunk said, how the government acted is indeed a confirmation to whatever Ohara found to be true. He's right. He is definitely right. Robin says, "Why are you asking about this? The scholars did devise a theory after all their extensive research, but wouldn't someone as high up in the government as you know about it already? As you know, the wording of that is weird. It's like a run-on sentence. It says, "But wouldn't someone as high up in the government as you know about it already?" Okay. And then Shaka says, "I'm afraid government affiliation makes no difference. I'm kept in the dark like everybody else. Even bringing this topic up to them would result in my immediate erasure." So okay, the world government is sending CP0 to kill Vegapunk, and since that's the case, have they learned that Vegapunk knows too much? Is that why they want to kill Vegapunk? Or him just being Vegapunk and doing all and creating all this stuff for them? It's just like he was already subjected to die anyway, right? Because he's Vegapunk and he he's too much of a danger to keep alive. And they're at a point where they don't need him anymore. So it's like you don't need him anymore, or you might not need him no more. He might know too much. He might know a lot, know too much for you guys, and he's capable of just being a threat, right? Like maybe that's why the world government wants to kill him. Maybe it's not just him knowing too much or just him being a threat. It could be a combination of both. You know, just being Vegapunk is enough. Usopp says, then stop telling us. This is just torture. Let us out of here. And then Robin says, if that's true, how could you know they were researching that kingdom? All the books and materials were on Ohara, and they were. And then Vegapunk interrupts and says, the will of Ohara lives on. And he says, that day shocked the world. Bro, did something happen? Did somebody survive? Did Vegapunk show up to the island? Hey, bro. Vegapunk says that day shocked the world. In a single night, Ohara, the island renowned for its love of knowledge, was wiped out, save for one little girl. And then we see a bounty picture of Robin, a young Nico Robin. And, then we go to Robin, who looks like she's about to cry. And he continues, the scholars were labeled devils, dissidents who plotted to overthrow the government. A few months after the incident, I paid a visit of my own to the scorched earth of Ohara. I thought Vegapunk was gonna say something like that. Like he's like, hey man, I went there myself. That could explain why Vegapunk knows so much, right? Maybe there was, because if I recall correctly, Ohara threw all the books in like the water. So maybe Vegapunk got those books. Maybe he retrieved those books out of the water and hid them somewhere, bruh. Like, I mean, I don't, because you could say they've been water damaged, but Vegapunk might know a way to recover them and like make them good again, right? Like maybe he had with the technology Vegapunk has, he probably could repair those books potentially. I mean, you would have to dry them, of course, but paper. I mean, like paper could take water without it just being completely screwed, long as you don't like physically destroy it, because it'd just be easily destroyed if you do. But depending on how long it is in the water, the damage could be permanent potentially. But I don't know. I'm no scientist. I'm just saying I've seen paper get wet and not like completely be destroyed. But he says, a few months after the incidents, I paid a visit of my own to the scorched earth of Ohara. I was acquainted with Professor Clover, the foremost authority on archaeology. I figured I should at least leave some flowers for him. I thought he was gonna say like he met Professor Clover after the incident. I was about to say, so the man survived, and then Robin says, "You knew Professor Clover." Yeah, I thought he was gonna say he when he said I was acquainted with Professor Clover, I thought he meant like after the fact, like after the incident, he met up with Professor, like he was met by Professor Clover. But No, he just meant like I was cool with him. I knew of him and all that good stuff. So we got a panel where we see Clover on a ship. Was he a pirate? Was Clover a pirate, Doctor Clover? Well, I mean, I guess they took travels as archaeologists, so it don't mean he was a pirate, but he explored though, and he has a ship that say Clover. And we got some guys in the back, and Shaka continues his obsession with the Void Century fueled his adventurous lifestyle, searching for relevant texts the world over. The Marines incarcerated him on at least 10 occasions. By the time he settled down, he was the world's most famous archaeologist. So, bro, we getting some Dr. Clover backstory. I didn't know Clover was like this. Like, I don't think we got that in the Ohara flashback that he was traveling all over the world and got arrested 10 times. I mean, I guess you could assume he probably traveled, right? Kind of like uh Nicole Olivia, Robin's mom, how she was always traveling and stuff. You could probably assume that Clover probably traveled when he was younger, and then when he got older, he kind of just stayed at Ohara and studied and researched things. But no, now we getting some official stuff that he definitely was exploring the world, and he got arrested 10 times. Bro, we getting some more detail about Clover's character and his history. Shaka says over the countless scholars were drawn to him and they all flocked to Ohara. It truly became the holy land of archaeology. Unfortunately, the aftermath of those tainted minds coming together would prove tragic. And then we got Vegapunk. Is that Vegapunk? He says, when I stepped foot on Ohara, even the tree of knowledge had been burned to cinders. I was speechless when I saw it. And we see like Vegapunk, and he has like this big, like Simpson style afro. It's like a silhouette. I don't know if that's his head that's just long, like maybe he's part of the long neck tribe or something, or if it's just like his head and then the hair is just like Marge Simpson's from The Simpsons, and it's just like a big afro looking thing. But he's like standing in front of the tree of knowledge. And then he says, but the lake at the center of the island had been filled with an unbelievable number of books. And then we hear Vegapunk in the past says, what in the world? Then he continues, I could only assume that it was the work of the scholars. They must have dedicated their final moments to ensuring that the future had access to their treasure trove to knowledge. I like this. I really like this because it really shows that what the scholars did when we seen the Ohara flashback when they threw the books in the lake, it wasn't in vain. It was because I would assume that Vegapunk probably collected those uh, books and restored them. So it's like that callback to where we see something happen in the past in the chapters. We see it make a full circle, and something comes from it. And I would assume Vegapunk recovered them, maybe saved them. I like it. I love it. I hope Vegapunk has like a library with all those books. Maybe Robin could go visit that library, and maybe he gives them the Robin, right? Because Robin is the only Oharian, I guess you would say, right? So those were books of Ohara, and she's the only surviving Ohara. So you could kind of say she kind of has the right to those books. I mean, maybe she doesn't because, knowledge should be shared or whatever, but she might have the right to decide what should happen to those books. And maybe she'll keep them because I don't think all those books could could they might be it might be too many of them to take on the ship, right? So it might be better just to keep them on Egghead Island. But then again, if the world government comes to Egghead Island, like we know that CP0's coming to Egghead Island, maybe she might want to take, because then they'll be vulnerable to the world government if they stay on Egghead Island, and you know what I mean. So maybe it'd be better if they move those books, but that's if those books are on Egghead Island, because maybe Vegapunk restored them and took them somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? So, because if they're on Egghead Island and the world government are always coming to Egghead Island, and they decide to sweep Egghead Island for whatever reason, you know, because Vegapunk is an employee, so he probably couldn't say no if they wanted to do that. So maybe it would have been smarter for Vegapunk to move them to a safe location where the world government couldn't find them, you know, and then Robin could circle whatever that location is and get them. But that's if Vegapunk even took him, because maybe he left him in the water. I don't know. Maybe he had no way to retrieve him in that moment. Not all those. Those are a lot of books. Those are a lot of books. So maybe he couldn't retrieve them in that single trip. You know. So maybe he left him. I don't know. I hope Vegapunk took him though. You know, because that's a lot of knowledge to just let be lost forever. You know. Vegapunk says, if any Marines did discover the books, they were apparently too ignorant to understand their value and left them be. Ohara had triumphed over them. When I realized that, I couldn't stop crying, or I couldn't stop myself from crying. Bro, that's dope, man. That's dope. We see Robin getting teary-eyed, and we kind of get a call back to the past with Nico Robin. She says, please take care of Robin. Make sure she escapes the island. I still have a duty to see to here. This is Nicole Robin talking. And then Robin says, or Nicole Oliver, and then Robin says, Mommy, I don't want to leave you. Let me stay too. Oh, bro, come on, man. You can't be hitting me in these feels like this, my guy. You can't be hitting me in these feels like this, bro. Bro, Robin's flashback, bro. I just had a moment right there, man. I just had a moment, bro. Think about that Robin flashback, man. The whole she. Man, bro, come on, man. So we see the books being thrown into the water from the O'Harians. They say, save the books. Get the reference materials out of the library. And then we see a shot of Saul, Robin, and Nicole Olivia. And Nicole Olivia says, Robin, history is our greatest treasure. It must be preserved. We can't just give up on our future or on your future. Chill, heart. Chill. Stop it. You know, about to make me shed a manly tear, man. A manly tear, you know. A manly tear. For real. Next page. Then we got Saul running with Robin. Robin screaming, Mommy. And Nicole Olivia says, be proud, Robin. Or no, Saul says, be proud, Robin. Your mama's an honorable woman. Ohara stood up to the world. Bro, bro, I feel like these feels are just like this moment is just beating up my feels right now, bro. This moment is just beating up my feels, man. And we got Robin like teary-eyed and just crying. No, she's just full on crying right now. Brother, you can't do this to me, man. You can't. Why are you doing this to me, Oda? Why are you doing this? This is foul. It's low. It's low. And I think it's Sanji talking. He says, or is it Usopp? It might be Usopp talking. He says, "You helmet wearing bastard, how dare you make Robin cry?" No, I think this is all the Straw Hats. This is like all of them saying this. And he says, "That's it, Vegapunk. You better release these shoes." Vegapunk, somebody says. I think it's Robin speaking now. Is it Robin? Or is somebody not in frame saying this? I don't know. Somebody says Vegapunk. And Robin says, "It's just as you said. They came to the same conclusions about the kingdom before the incident." And Vegapunk says, "I see. So it's all true." And then Robin says, "Where are the books from the lake now?" And Vegapunk says, "I really wanted to take them back to Punk Hazard, but I knew if the top brass ever caught wind, it would all be over. So instead," and then we see Robin wiping her tear, "they were taken by the people I saw that day." Some people. There were people. There were people there. And then it says Ohara West Blue 22 years ago. So we're getting a flash. We're getting a new flashback right now. It looks like we're getting a new flashback. A few months after the Buster Call incident, and then somebody says, someone else is visiting the debris." Okay, so there's more people there. And they say giants. So we see some old guy with shades. I think this is Vegapunk. He got like this super long tail. And he says, "All right, let's pull them up. Who are they? What should I do? Do they have any idea how important those books are?" So we got Vegapunk and his long hair looking at these giants pulling up all these books. Oh boy, don't tell me Elbath. Don't tell me Elbath foreshadowing. That, bro, this is some Elbath foreshadowing already. So the giants got the books. Oda, you genius of a man. You genius of a man. So I think this pretty much confirmation right now. You genius of a man. Now I think we have a real reason. We have an official reason to go to Elbath. You know. And then somebody is above Vegapunk, and they say, "It's been a while, Vegapunk. As usual, that head of yours makes you stand out." Is that Shanks? Or is that like Dragon? Because he has like one of them capes that the revolutionaries wear. But Shanks be wearing those as well sometimes. And Vegapunk turns around and says, "Is that you? Monkey D. Dragon. Monkey D. Dragon." And this is a young dragon too. You can tell he's a lot. Well, it's 22 years ago, so bro, he's a lot younger. Bruh. I wonder if Dragon is with the Giants. So that would mean that maybe if that's the case, if Dragon is with the Giants, that could mean the Giants could be with the Revs. Maybe Giants, there's some Giants that are connected with the Revs. And why, if Dragon knows all about this, he didn't say nothing to Robin about it? When Robin was with the Revs, he didn't say, "Hey, Elbath got your books. Elbath got them books. You want to go check them out? We could go." Unless maybe Dragon just wanted Robin to learn this on her own, right? Like maybe that's what it was. And Dragon says, or Vegapunk says, "Dragon, what are you doing here?" And then Dragon says, "That's my line. Your head definitely looks like it's gotten a good bit bigger." I knew Old Man Clover. So we see this. We see get a full thing of Vegapunk, and Vegapunk got a huge dome. God damn! I thought that might have been like an afro or something, but nah, Vegapunk got a dome, but it just shows his brain though, right? He got a big brain, and then he got like this long ass tongue as well. He got this long ass tongue, and Vegapunk says, "You too." I know he was once a bit of a hooligan roaming the seas, but all that nonsense about him trying to destroy the world, it's blatant propaganda. So we get the older boxes. It says Monkey D. Dragon, head of the freedom fighters, not the revolutionaries, the freedom fighters. I guess this is what they called him at this point in time. And he was 33 years old at the time. And then we get Dr. Vegapunk, head of Punk Hazard Laboratory, 43 years old. Okay, I'm feeling it, bro. I'm liking it. I'm liking it. And then Dragon says, "Are you worried about the giants? They're not scavengers. I had a word with them just now." So so the Giants must not be with the Giants must not be with Dragon. You know what? Maybe Saul. Cause Saul was a giant, right? Saul was a giant, so maybe they knew Saul and was doing this for Saul or something. I don't know. I don't know. And Dragon says, "It seems they're from Elbath, and they're fully aware of the value of those books. Their captain was a strange giant wrapped from head to toe in bandages. Their captain was a strange giant wrapped in head to toe in bandages." Saul? Still alive? Potentially? Is Saul potentially still alive? If he's dead, why do they need to wrap him in bandages? He's dead. You bury him, right? But is he still alive? Oh, is Jaguar D Saul still alive? The man of the D's, the Jaguar of the D's, of the D's. He could potentially. I mean, maybe it's a different guy. I don't know. He just said, but him saying he's wrapped in bandages could mean that like Saul is bandaged up and he's still alive because he from the fire and being almost frozen. Because think about it, right? Now that I think about it, Jaguar D Saul was frozen to death by Aokiji, or he was frozen by Aokiji, and then that fire could have thawed him out, and nobody ever really talked about this. Bro, the man with the burn scar. The man with the burned scar. Jaguar D saw the survivor of the Ohara incident. Bars. Bars. Oda you genius. Bro. The man with the burned scars. Bro. Listen. Let's go. Hey, Giants, right? We got Giants. Their captain is wrapped in bandages. Why did we never? Why have nobody? At least I've never heard anybody talk about it. Maybe I'm not. I don't want to say nobody's never talked about it because maybe somebody has. Saul was frozen to death. He was frozen to death. We probably gonna get this in the same chapter anyway. So, but Saul was frozen to death, or not to death, but he was frozen by Aokiji, right? The fire from the whole Ohara incident probably thawed this man out. All he had to do was avoid getting burned to death, and maybe jump in the water, right? Jump in the water, survive. Let the jump in the water to survive, right? And he probably did get burned, leaving him leaving him scarred from the fire and marked by fire, right? His crew came and saved him. Like his crew came to help to save him. Probably. I don't know. Bro, Jaguar D saw the man with the burn scar. Bro, yo, that I don't know if that gets confirmed in this chapter, but that's my spec as of now until I finish this chapter. That's my speculation on who the man with the burn scar is. I'm mad I never put that with Saul. I guess I just figured he died, but nah, it's Saul, bro. It's Saul. It's Saul, man. Let me continue though. God dang. I'm not even done this page. Dragon says he said Ohara sacrificed itself for those treasures and he couldn't let them be erased from history. After seeing a government lackey like you lurking about, I'm glad they're here to scoop them up and keep them safe. And then Vegapunk says, hey, you know I'd never. And then Dragon says, you passed on joining the freedom fighters a while ago, but it still made me sick to hear about you becoming one of their lapdogs. And then Vegapunk says, don't be stupid. Your ragtag operation was always too poor. What good are my skills and intellect if I can't actually build anything? I mean, that's a good point. That's a good point. He said, hey, bro, you too broke, Dragon. You were too broke, bro. I need a sugar daddy, bro. Vegapunk was looking for the sugar daddies, bro. Vegapunk was trying to get a sugar daddy that could fund his research. I don't blame him, though. I don't blame him. Especially being a scientist. And then Dragon says, I know. You're as blunt as ever. Vegapunk says, the world government is insanely huge organization. There are plenty of decent people on the inside that can be reasoned with, especially in the Navy. Don't lose sight of the end goal, Dragon. And then Dragon says, Vegapunk continues, I get it, but I can't just sit back after this. It's too damn much. Or maybe I think that was Dragon saying that. It was the same shaped bubble, so I thought it was Vegapunk. I think this is still Dragon speaking. He said those harmless scholars were brutally snuffed out. Just for questioning their authority, it's a farce. And then he says, I'm going to raise an army that can fight them head on. And then Vegapunk says, I thought you hated war. Dragon says, just watch Vegapunk. I'll change the world. Now, I think your son's going to be the one to change the world. And then then Dragon continues, the will of Ohara won't die with Clover. And then we cut back to the present day, and Shaka says, and within a year, he, Emporio Ivankov, and Bartholomew Kuma founded the Revolutionary Army, which continues the world today. So it was those three. It was Dragon, Ivankov, and Kuma that all founded the revolutionaries. Bro, this chapter, man. We got some Ohara stuff. We got some Dragon stuff. We got the official Vegapunk reveal. The official Vegapunk reveal. Come on, bro. Come on now. And we got, I feel as though, a bit of a hint that we're going to Elbath. Saul probably still alive, who I think is the man with the burn scar. I need to sip some water. I need to sip some water. That's not me tasting the water. That's me tasting the greatness of this chapter through the water, through the water. Oh my goodness. Oh, man. Greatness, greatness. So Robin says, wow, Luffy's dad sounds so intense. Usopp said, "Did you say Elbath? Hey, bro, we know Usopp been wanting to go to Elbath, so this is his chance. This is his, he's smelling Elbath right around the corner, baby." Uh, Robin says, "Professor Clover's fate motivated Dragon." That's true. That's wow. Ohara is the motivation behind Dragon. That's crazy. Like I didn't know that specific incident motivated Dragon to form the Revs. And Frankie says, "My head's going to blow. Why did Kuma help us? And why did you modify him so much, Vegapunk?" True, good. Yo, Frankie asking the questions we need to know. That's the questions we need to know. Why did Kuma help the Straw Hats? What did Vegapunk do? Now that we know that Vegapunk is on friendly terms with the revolutionaries. Yeah, good question, Frankie. Asking the real question, the hard hitting questions. And then Sanji says, "Eva, that bastard was one of the founding members of the revolutionaries." Frankie asking them hard hitting questions. Shaka says, "The books from Ohara certainly couldn't be left to be found by the government. But my curiosity compelled me to make a discreet trip to Elbath, where the books were taken, and they allowed me to read each and every one of them." Damn. How do you read all them books? That's a lot of books. "In other words, I took everything Ohara uncovered about the world's secret and memorized it." I mean, when you got a head that goddamn big, you would be able to memorize all that stuff. And then Shaka says, "It's all in my head, and I've continued their research." Bro, this chapter. The further I get into this chapter, the more I'm loving this chapter, bro. Like, this chapter, already 10 out of 10. I don't even like rating chapters, but bro, this is a godly tier chapter, in my opinion. I'll say that now. If you disagree, that's fine. I don't care. But this is a godly tier chapter, in my opinion. I love this chapter. Like, what could you ask for? So much world building in one chapter, bro. We got the reveal of Vegapunk. We got some revolutionary information. Um, to me, this chapter confirms that Saul is indeed still alive, and he is the man marked by fire potentially. Like, that's what I'm rolling with that. I'm rolling with that. Nobody's telling me otherwise. Saul is that guy, and I believe he's the man bandaged up. Because he's the only person that really knew. He's the only giant that really knew what was going on in Ohara, and then we see all these giants come in to help. And he was bandaged up. Why is the man bandaged up? A burn victim. That's what you would do to a burn victim. All that stuff about it being a rouge and because of his tattoos. I believe whoever it was had to be somebody associated with Ohara. That's what I've been caping for. Had to be somebody. I didn't think it was Saul though. I thought Saul died, but come on, bro. Come on now. Come on now. And then Robin says, that jet. See, this is the panel I think I was spoiled on. This is where I was spoiled. Robin says that captain or that giant captain, he's called Saul, isn't he? And then Shaka says he's in hiding now, so I can't confirm anything. So that's a way of Saul. That's a way of Vegapunk confirming without confirming. And then we see Saul. We see Robin crying, but it's like a cry of joy. You know, bro. Saul is still alive, bro. The man marked by flame. Come on, man, bro. Such a great chapter, bro. It's such a great chapter. Hit me. It hit me in the field. It just a emotional roller coaster. You know, we get some tear jerker. You know, when we have to go relive the whole Ohara incident, the whole Robin flashback. We get some happy moments to know that Saul's still alive. You know, man. And then Robin says, "Thank you, Dr. Vegapunk. Thank you for not letting Ohara's sacrifice be in vain." And you know something? I talk about all the stuff that Robin could gain in this arc, right? Like she could gain some void century knowledge and all that stuff. But I think I probably missed one of, like, I could have never predicted that she would probably get the most important thing, you know, or something as important which she really did get, like the real thing that Robin got. That to me just makes this chapter even better. She got a little peace of mind, right? Like I couldn't have predicted that she would get peace of mind. Cause like cause now she knows that she knows that everything that Ohara worked for is not all destroyed. You know, she knows that Saul is most likely still alive. It's like she got a little peace of mind. Yes, sure, everybody that she loved did die, but everything that they worked for was not completely gone. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't all completely gone. And Saul being alive, bro, what can you ask for, bro? Like that, bro, like, man, she got something more important than just void century knowledge. You know, she got peace of mind, bro. Like that's dope. That's dope, man. That's dope. You know, like you can't tell me this ain't a great chapter, man. Like, come on, man. And then Vegapunk says, "I try to help progress every field of thought possible. It's my nature as a scholar." And then we see like their the shoes that they're wearing is like moving, and Vegapunk is going through like some door, and they're like following, like, so they're automatically being sent to follow him. And they say, "What? The shoes are moving on their own. I can't." And then Vegapunk says, "I can't release you just yet. Follow me." I mean, they don't got much of a choice. You're forcing them to follow you. And he says, "There's something I want to show you." Oh boy, what Vegapunk got to show us? What are we about to see? What are we about to see? So we cut to the junkyard Egghead's fabrication stratum. And I think this is Luffy talking. He says, "Chopper, there's no way to get in." And then I think Chopper says, "Oh, it must be the type that moves on its own." Oh yeah, good point. It might not be like a mech. It might be like a something that you control it or whatever. And then we see Chopper say, "Move. Move, Robo. Does it need a special command?" And then Luffy says, "Maybe we've just gotta say his name. Move, Robonosuke. Move, Robo King." And And then Jory Bonnie says, "You guys are such kids. Ain't no way it's moving." And then we see like these waves almost like it's Conqueror's hockey. I don't know if this coming from Luffy or if it's coming from the mech. But Luffy said, the robot's gonna blow. So I'm curious, did Luffy use like Conqueror's hockey to activate this thing or something? Like, or is it this all coming from the robot or the mech or whatever it is? Bro, what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? I wonder if they're gonna end up activating this thing. That'd be dope. We see what looks to be Vegapunk, but he ain't got that big dome like he had. He says, "Save me, Quasar. No good. Another debacle. Somebody please save me, Quasar. Perhaps space-time bent mid-warp. Perhaps space." So yeah, this is definitely this is Vegapunk, but he lost his big size head and it's replaced with like a half of an apple. And then we see Luffy pulling him out, and he says, "What the? There's a guy like Kinemon here. I'm sinking." And then Luffy says, "I've got you. Sorry," says Vegapunk. And Jory Bonnie says, "It's him." And he pulls him out, and we see Vegapunk with SSG on his back. And he says, "Much obliged. You're Dragon's boy, right? I knew you come." How do you know he was? How he know he was Luffy off the bat? Oh well, yeah. Most people know that Luffy and Dragon. Yeah, I guess, because I think it was revealed in Marineford. So yeah, I mean, I guess he would know. But it's like he hardly even looked at him and said, "Oh, you're Dragon's boy, right?" Yeah. He says, "Good job on making it." And then Vegapunk looks at Bonnie and says, "Oh my Bonnie, dear me, you sure have gotten big." And then Luffy says, "What? Oh man, you're floating." And then Vegapunk says, "It's splendid to see you and so full of vigor." And Jory Bonnie says, "Vegapunk." And Vegapunk says, "You can float too, you know. Those Dom shoes you're wearing have a nifty Hoover function." And then Luffy says, "What?" And Vegapunk says, "See here, press the button on the side, grab the lever." And then we see Vegapunk, Luffy, and Chopper all like take off into the air, and it says, and Vegapunk says, "Gadzooks, we've flown too far." And Luffy's having fun, but Chopper look like he about to have a brain aneurysm. They say what? Vegapunk says, "Save us, Quasar." So Quasar must be like his little speech thing that a lot of characters have. And we get Dr. Vegapunk, the man with the biggest brain in the world, leader of the Navy's SSG, Special Science Group. And then we get One Piece, chapter 1066, end. Bro. Yo. Bro, this chapter, bro. This chapter. I don't even know where to start with this chapter. It's like I'm kind of at a loss for words, so I don't even really know where to start from this chapter. We start off with Vegapunk talking to the Straw Hat group, Robin, Sanji, Frankie, Usopp, and Nami, like that group, and Vegapunk is, bro, I don't even know where to start with this, man. But Vegapunk, it kind of leads off where they talked about last chapter, talking about the Void Century or the Ancient Kingdom being futuristic, right? Like the technology, the technology being technology of the past and not futuristic, the future. Because the Straw Hat's kind of like, I don't believe you. This technology is too good to be of the past, right? And then we get into some ancient kingdom stuff. We get into some ancient kingdom that bro, I I'm literally at a loss for words with this chapter. There's just so much to talk about, right? But so now Robin's starting to step up more because she wants to know about the Void Century. And but they're still talking about the machinery, right? The machinery being created from the Void Century, and they asked Robin like, "Hey, you know about this technology, Robin?" And Vegapunk's like, yeah, sure, she knows a little bit about it. She's from Ohara, right? She's from Ohara. This is what they've been studying, and Robin's like, "Wait, you know about Ohara? Like, what do you know about Ohara?" Come to find out, we get a flashback with Vegapunk going to Ohara, right? Because he had a relationship with Dr. Clover at one point, so he kind of wanted to, pay his respects to Dr. Clover and the archaeologists of Ohara. You know, then he discovers the whole lake where they dumped all those books, and the Straw Hats are like, "Oh, so you know where those books are? Do you have them? Like, where those books?" He was like, "Well, unfortunately, I don't have them. When I got there were some giants who had a captain who was all bandaged up. Jaguar D saw, the man marked by fire, might I say." He says, they were getting these books out of the water, and then guess who shows up? Monkey D. Dragon, the leader of the Freedom Fighters. Not the Revs just yet. Not the Revs just yet. The leader of the Freedom Fighters. And so him and Dragon discuss things. Dragon's kind of like, "I don't like how you're a lapdog of the world government. What's up with that?" Vegapunk's like, "Well, I would have joined you, but you're too broke. You're one of those poors. I don't like to deal with poors. I need a sugar daddy that can fund my research. I like you, I rock with you, but you're too much of a poors, Dragon. Let's be serious here. I need a sugar daddy to fund my stuff." And so come to find out, one thing we learned is that this moment, right, the whole thing with Ohara was what motivated Dragon to start the official Revolutionary Army, who he started with Ivankov and Kuma. Like, they're the original founders of the revolutionaries, right? And Robin also learns that Saul is potentially alive, right? The man marked by flames, might I say. I'm gonna keep saying that because I believe it. You can't really convince me anybody else at this point, but I'm just saying. And so yeah, so Vegapunk, Robin, they were just talking about Ohara overall, right? Like, they just talked about Ohara. We got a actual Vegapunk reveal of the real Vegapunk. Man had a huge dome piece. But we see him at the end of the chapter, and that dome ain't looking so big no more. It's like cut in half, and he's a little more goofy and eccentric, which I think that is because he spread his genius among those satellites. So he's not going to be like, his real body's not going to be as smart as it was before he spread his genius across these satellites. But yeah, so we even get a little history about Clover. Clover explored the world, and before he actually just settled down in Ohara and just stayed there to study and all this with his other philosophers. So yeah, yeah. What else? What else? At the end of the chapter, we get Vegapunk taking the Straw Hats to see something. I don't know what that something is just yet. It could be a poneglyph. It could be something else. I don't know just yet. But we also learn that those books in the Oharian books are at Elbath, which leads me to say that we're going to Elbath for certain. It's basically confirmed, in my opinion, that we're going to Elbath. So Robin could read these books. Usopp could get his character development he might need. Possibly the Atom Tree that it's been speculated to be there. Dope. And yeah, seems like we're going to Elbath. It seems like we're going to Elbath. And then we end the chapter with Luffy and Chopper trying to activate this big mech, but to no success. And then they end up discovering Vegapunk, who knows that Luffy is Dragon's son, like off rip. He didn't hesitate, say, "Oh, you're Dragon's kid." And then he sees Bonnie say, "Hey, my Bonnie, you got big." And Bonnie's still not really feeling that. So we see Vegapunk, and he has like a lot of his head missing, and he has like an apple looking thing over it, and he's just super goofy, super playful. And he's saying, he starts hoovering in the air. He tells Luffy and Chopper, like, "Hey, you guys could do this too with your shoes." And so they got the shoes, and they're hoovering above. They're hoovering, which I kind of hope they keep them shoes. That'd be dope, because now y'all could use those for fighting. Like, just imagine Zoro get those shoes and he could like fly and with his swords. Hey, I like it. But hey, that is the chapter. I think I'm gonna save a little more of the discussion for the chapter discussion. I don't want to talk too much about it. It's a lot to talk about. It is a lot to talk about. Y'all kind of got my speculation on Saul being a lot. Well, we know he's in hiding. Vegapunk said he was in hiding, but y'all got my speculation of Saul being the man marked by fire. It makes sense because he was at Ohara, probably got burned, and he got that connection with Ohara. So he might. To me, he makes the most sense to be the guy that Kid and Killer were talking about. But yeah, that is the chapter right there, guys. Y'all gotta let me know what y'all think. Yeah, that 10 out of 10 chapter for me. 10 out of 10 chapter for me. I loved it. 5 out of 5, 10 out of 10, whatever you want to say. I loved it, bro. We got a lot of answers in that specific chapter. We got Vegapunk, the real reveal. We got Dragon and Vegapunk talking to each other at Ohara with talking. We know that those books that we seen the Oharians throw in the water, those are safe now. So everything Ohara did was not in vain. We know that Saul alive. Bro, we got so much good in this chapter. Robin got her peace of mind knowing that Ohara's efforts weren't in vain and that Saul is still alive. To me, that's great, because seeing how we seen everything Robin go through, that we could see a reunion of Saul, right? And remember, Saul told her to go find some friends and that she'll find some friends, right? And now Saul's words came true, and now Saul can see Robin grew up to gain some friends. Bro, like, this chapter hit me in the feels in so many ways, and I love it, man. I was sad, I was happy, I was excited. Hey, that's the chapter, y'all. That is the chapter. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Also, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications. Comment down below what you guys thought of the chapter. I want to know what y'all thought. I love the chapter. So let me know what you thought about chapter, your theories. Do you agree with anything I said? Do you disagree with anything I said? Follow me on Twitch so you guys can engage with me in real time while I do these reactions and stuff. Also, follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, and join the Discord. Let's talk about these chapters in the Discord. If you're part of the Discord, you could become part of a future discussion stream, right? That I do. I do discussion streams. If you want to be part of a discussion stream, be part of the Discord. That's all I really got, man. Y'all have a good one. I'm out of here. I really love this chapter. It's your boy, Sean P, the Bluff God, and I'm out of here. Peace.